The Female Solution Global Radio TV Show invites you to an invigorating conversation with our team of hosts Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Time. Start your week with Monday Morning Mindfulness with Zelda Speaks. Tuesdays, Self-Cell Care with Jody Susan. Wednesdays, Repairing Broken Families with Naima Latif and co-host Kareem Hamid. Thursdays, Soulful Solutions with Dr. Debbie Green. And Fridays, Health and Wellbeing with Beata. Saturdays, tune in 12 noon to 2 p.m. Central Time. First Saturday, Success Strategies with Jana. Second Saturday, Wendy Williams Esquire on relationships. Third Saturday, Move Around with Deborah. And fourth Saturday, Wisdom with Mama D. Join us Sundays, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Time for Soul Purpose Healing with Beata. Call in and comment 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak to the host and be a part of the solution. The Female Solution Global Radio TV Show invites you to an invigorating conversation with our team of hosts Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Time. Start your week with Monday Morning Mindfulness with Zelda Speaks. Tuesdays, Self-Cell Care with Jody Susan. Wednesdays, Repairing Broken Families with Naima Latif and co-host Kareem Hamid. Thursdays, Soulful Solutions with Dr. Debbie Green. And Fridays, Health and Wellbeing with Beata. Saturdays, tune in 12 noon to 2 p.m. Central Time. First Saturday, Success Strategies with Jana. Second Saturday, Wendy Williams Esquire on relationships. Third Saturday, Move Around with Deborah. And fourth Saturday, Wisdom with Mama D. Join us Sundays, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Time for Soul Purpose Healing with Beata. Call in and comment 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak to the host and be a part of the solution. And grand rising to all of you who are with us this Thursday, this Wednesday morning on the Female Solution. We are here live and enthusiastically looking forward to this conversation. And we have joined our...
You are part of our 600,000 listening level, American Muslim 360. You are now in the host queue. Assalamu alaikum. This is
we have joined our American Muslim 360 family. And we'll be joined by our host queen in just one and we'll give you an opportunity to call in 515-605-935 and press 1 when you're ready to speak. And we are looking forward to an invigorating conversation. We're looking forward to an invigorating conversation this morning. We're going to take a look at the way we can share love with this global family this holiday season. And we're going to meet an exciting actor. And we're going to take a look at how we can really make a difference by sharing ourselves as opposed to sharing things. We're going to get an opportunity to really examine what it takes to change lives and how we need to be a part of that process. So stay close. We'll be right back after this quick break. We want you to stick and stay. Don't stray away.
United States of America. Proactively and from the mercy of the Almighty, we stand with the human family that Juneteenth is a reminder of what once was and how we can take a stand and be a contributing factor to the human family for the best of humanity. Continue to rise with the influence that our foreparents stood with and for. Many lost their lives because they chose not to be subdued and treated inhumanely. Juneteenth, again, is as a soul arising by the mercy of the one God. And now, welcome, dear human family, to Juneteenth 2021. Unmuted.
And so we are now joined with our American Muslim 350 family. Wa alaikum salam. And we are now joined with our American Muslim 360 family. And looking forward to an invigorating conversation. We've got a guest joining us at the 8 o'clock hour, Harold Dennis, who has portrayed some very powerful characters on screen, some vintage films that we'll talk about. And we want to take a look at how we can overcome our holiday loneliness by sharing love. We condemn those who don't have during the year. And then during the holiday season, we suddenly become aware that there are homeless people, that there are elderly who have been abandoned, that there are children who are orphaned. And we have many acts of kindness during this time. But these are the same people who are suffering all year long. And so we really must develop a standard of treatment of humanity that extends beyond this season. But there are a lot of people who are sitting around feeling sorry for themselves, feeling as if the world has left them and forgotten them. And if we can see things differently, then perhaps we can choose to be a part of the movement to be more kind and loving to those who are forgotten year round. So we want to talk about some of the efforts of people who are creating ways to serve, not just during the holiday season, but as a way of life. And if you are feeling that perhaps your life is empty, maybe you're single, maybe you are without a loving spouse or partner, maybe your children are grown, or maybe you never had children, and maybe you're in this COVID season, where if people are not living in the same house, they tend not to see each other. Maybe you're feeling the loneliness. And so we want to encourage you to not see yourself as being alone, but as being available to serve and to love those who need you. And we want to talk about that in this first hour. And then again, of course, we'll be joined with our guest, Harold Dennis, actor, in the second hour. And he's been in some profound films, being able to portray characters that give depth and also perhaps evoke a bit more of our empathy, particularly toward Black men who have often been portrayed in ways that cause us fear or disdain. So we need to see the soul of a man so that we can have more compassion for the whole human being. So, Brother Kareem, of course, we know that in St. Louis, there are a lot of things happening. Yes.
Yes, I missed the name of our guest. You have said it twice, but it was said so quickly. It escaped me. What is his name?
His name is Harold Dennis, and he's yes, he starred in a recent film that was showcased at the White House. He'll tell us more about that, and he also has been in a number of films that have been instrumental in shaping our culture. So there are ways that the film industry can have a positive impact. We know that we've been a bit distressed when filmmakers choose to create films that encourage the worst in us. So we're going to look at those who are involved in films that create the best in us. We do have a chance to influence our environment using film if we would simply choose to create the images that we would like to see develop in our society. If we want a better world, we have to project the thought of it. And whatever we're projecting on our screens, that's what we're creating. Creation comes first with thought. So we're going to take a look at that and the choices that actors can make when they want to portray specific characters. What impact is this going to have as people see this person that I'm portraying? And is this person that I'm portraying an inspiration to others to lift themselves up, or is it a motivation for negative behavior? We have a responsibility in all that we do and to understand the impact of all we do. So, of course, if you are listening online and want to join this conversation, give us a call, 515-605-9325, and press 1 when you're ready to speak. And grand rising to our sister Viata, who will be joining us on Friday with health and well-being. And she said, let us be the one in truth, love, and power. Yes, absolutely. Let us be one in truth, love, and power. We must choose that. So this is a season where a lot of people are aware of our responsibility to the human family. But then right after December 25th, the next day, many are forgotten, or there might even be some who extended beyond even to January 1st. But then January 2nd, we're right back in our meanness and disregard for the lives of others. So love and kindness and help and service must be a way of life. How do we do that? First of all, let me ask you, Brother Kareem, what are some of the things that are happening in St. Louis that you're observing? Organizations that may have come together in the spirit of giving to address the chronic homelessness, or even to address reconciliation with people who may have been at odds. We know we've got this chronic condition between citizen and police in many cities. What are some of the things that are happening there in St. Louis that are helping to bring peace during this season?
Yes, it's an ongoing effort, 24/7, with the many tragedies that we are seeing and witnessing in St. Louis and around the country. There's a organization called Better Family Life, and they are involved in on the ground conflict resolution. A lot of times, the law enforcement, they can only respond once something has happened. They are not present when the conflict begins. So there are community activists that have actually lived the life that they are trying to turn off, to reverse, turn around. So that is very beneficial. It's one thing to sit in an office and try to come up with ways of decreasing violence. But if you're not present, if you're not on the ground, if you're not in the community, the community does not know you, they don't trust you, and you are not actively involved with situations and circumstances that happen in our neighborhood, on the streets. There is a brother here. His last name is Wahid, and he works with the circuit attorney's office here. Attorney Kim Gardner, and he began as a community activist in the area that is very violent. He led many stop the violence movements and marches, and he has now got involved on the criminal justice side. Sometimes in order to change a system, you have to get inside of it to make that change. And him and Kimberly Hart came up with processes and actions to bring about justice. We hear the criminal side, but we don't hear the criminal justice. So he is one that he did something to violence. Even while on the street organizing, his son was murdered. So his actions is coming from his heart, and also we applaud those brothers, those men and women that actually deal with it at the sidewalk level. Get right in the thick of it, and it takes courage to do that. But the approach here is not just to respond after something has happened. The attempt is to be present, to be right in the community, and be able to resolve or to prevent and stop the conflict that may occur. So I work with an organization that is named Beyond Housing. Beyond Housing is provide and help facilitate affordable housing for those that are out of doors or maybe having a housing problem. It's called Beyond Housing. And also, it's not just for housing, it is the distribution of foodstuffs, also how to maneuver and work your way through this system. It will help you with the many forms that come with working in this system to address issues and to address concerns. So it is also an educating tool for those that will utilize it. Beyond Housing, and from out of Beyond Housing, they grew another group, another activist group called 24-1. I live just outside of St. Louis. There are small municipalities outside of St. Louis: Pine Lawn, Wellston, Paysdale, Pasadena Hill, and they have come together, inshallah, to work as one. The heads of each community, the mayors, city council of each small community have agreed to come together and work as one in conjunction with each other. This pandemic that we are in has somewhat slowed that process, but we are still meeting, and we are planning some events this coming summer once the weather breaks. We had planned a massive clean up our streets, our lots, call attention to the vacant homes in these communities, and also to clear away the vegetative overgrowth. But the aim was to get as many young people involved as possible. I spoke to a group of clergymen prior to being able to move forward with that. And I expressed to them if they would support this, that this is also part of our ministry. That people are spiritually affected by the material that they see. Our children see trash, junkie lots, vegetation overgrowing everything, that have an effect on how they feel, their spirit, and their thinking, and their behavior. So the idea was to be really active in this huge cleanup as possible. And there was a large celebration to be held afterward. Nice music, food, and all of that. But when this pandemic came, that somewhat that effort was shelved. So we have to be active on the ground. We have to be in those areas where the conflict can occur. That I know it's dangerous, but none of us will live forever. But we must be smart and strategic in our efforts to help the community, and also to heal the community, to heal the rift between human beings. So and there are many, many more efforts that I'm not aware of, I'm sure, that is occurring here in the St. Louis area. We are experiencing an uptick in violent behavior. And let me add one more thing that the violence that we see it is socially engineered, which is a whole 4-hour broadcast. To deal with that, it is social engineering is bringing about the conditions that we're seeing among human beings.
Yes, that's important to remember. This is socially engineered. Well, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we will give you some suggestions on how to find where you can serve to actually be a part of the process of healing the hurt so that we can transform the society, not just during this holiday season, but as a way of life. So we'll be back after this quick break. And if you're listening online and want to join this conversation, give us a call, 515-605-9325 or 515-605-9891. And press 1 to let us know you have something to say. It'll raise your hand on the switchboard and we'll open your mic and get your thoughts. And we'll be right back after this break. So stay with us. The Female Solution Global Radio TV Show invites you to an invigorating conversation with our team of hosts Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Time. Start your week with Monday Morning Mindfulness with Zelda Speaks. Tuesdays, Self-Cell Care with Jody Susan. Wednesdays, Repairing Broken Families with Naima Latif and co-host Kareem Hamid. Thursdays, Soulful Solutions with Dr. Debbie Green. And Fridays, Health and Wellbeing with Beata. Saturdays, tune in 12 noon to 2 p.m. Central Time. First Saturday, Success Strategies with Jana. Second Saturday, Wendy Williams Esquire on relationships. Third Saturday, Move Around with Deborah. And fourth Saturday, Wisdom with Mama D. Join us Sundays, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Time for Soul Purpose Healing with Beata. Call in and comment 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak to the host and be a part of the solution.
Have you ever dreamed of going to exotic places, meeting fascinating people, enjoying uplifting music, and spending nights in a luxurious hotel? Do you look forward to a relaxing vacation where you can walk along the beach or sit in a quiet park and enjoy the sunset or sunrise? Whether you're flying around the world or driving across the country, we will share travel tips that will help you stay safe while you enjoy the journey. Join me every third Saturday of the month, 12 noon to 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, and move around with Deborah here on the Female Solution Show. Call in and comment 515-605-9325 and press 1 to speak. Tune in to Global Solutions with Dr. Debbie Green on Thursdays at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time and 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to hear great topics and stories on grief and turn it into victory. Join Dr. Debbie Green to listen to stories of triumph and learn how to overcome. You are not alone in your life, and there is hope in the darkest hour. This is your time to learn strategies and solutions to improve your life. It's your time. So join Dr. Debbie Green with Soul Solutions on Thursday at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time and 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time at 515-605-9325 with comments and questions. Look to hear from you real soon. What if you could live to be 120 years old and remain active, healthy, alert, and vibrant? Our bodies are made up of cells that are constantly rejuvenating. So if we take proper care of ourselves, we can literally defy aging. Join us every Tuesday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Standard Time to learn about self-care from Tucson Essentials on the Female Solution Blog Talk Radio Show. Learn how to help your body and yourself feel rejuvenated each day through proper nutrition, sleep, frequency medicine, and many unconventional methods of self-care. I'm Jody Tucson. Join me and my amazing guests by calling in at 515-605-9325 and press 1 to speak. We'll help you achieve a breakthrough in your health today.
And we are back. You're listening to and watching the Female Solution Global Radio TV show. I'm Naima Latif, along with our co-host, Kareem Hamid. And we want to encourage you this holiday season to give the gift of love, especially to those who might have been forgotten. And if you feel like you're one of the forgotten, if you're of sound mind and body, then perhaps you need to look at things a little differently and to realize that you are the change you've been waiting for. So we're going to join with our American Muslim 360 family and our co-host Kareem Hamid and give you some suggestions on some places that may in fact be where you can best serve, especially when it comes to finding ways that you can really make a difference in people's lives. We know that this past week, our dear friend, Dr. Willie Wilson, was once again helping the homeless, helping those who are less fortunate with money, food, and his generosity. Yes, he's a millionaire, but there are many who have just as much opportunity to give. So it's not how much you have that determines how much you can give. You can give the gift of time that doesn't cost you anything. Think about that person who perhaps is in a wheelchair, maybe they're homebound, and they don't have access to the technology that would give them face-to-face contact with people. So they're isolated. They deserve a visit. And if you're concerned about COVID, well, there's all kinds of precautions that people have been encouraged to take. But the main thing is that we can't stop human contact. And that's the biggest lesson in this season as people worry about the various new variants of the virus. This virus is teaching us something. First of all, that our behavior affects people around us. We are all connected. So what you do does, in fact, people that you don't, it affects people you don't even know. So be mindful of what you do. And the other thing this virus is teaching us is how much we need each other. How distressing has it been for those who have been in isolation, who can't go out, who can't receive visitors, those who've been stuck in nursing homes or senior homes? How distressing has it been? So now we are understanding the value of each other. So since this virus is helping to raise our awareness, now let's use that heightened awareness to change our cultural behavior and make us more kind and loving toward each other all the time, not just during a season where people are being urged to spend money to give presents, but during an entire year. Let's see the homeless on the streets in the cold January 2nd. Let's see the hungry who have to rely on food pantries to survive. Let's see the homeless children whose homeless parents can't take them to the shelter because they won't allow youth of a certain age. So 13, 14, 15-year-olds have to be out on the street to try to survive. Let's see them January 2nd, because they'll still be there. And how are we going to help them? So give us a call, 515-605-9325. Press 1 when you're ready to speak. And if you have been a part of a program, a faith-based program, perhaps in which you have organized a way to serve those who are in need, share it with us, because we want to give people a chance to help, to volunteer, to assist, to be of service. So we've got some callers on the line, and if you're listening online and want to join this conversation, give us a call, 515-605-9325, and press 1 when you're ready to speak. And if you are joining us live on Facebook, then write in your comments and we'll share them with our listening and viewing audience. And in our 8 o'clock hour, we're going to be joined by a fantastic performer, Harold Dennis, who is an actor. He's head of 99 Films on the Wall, is his company. And he's committed to portraying characters that give us a depth of understanding about the human condition, so that we can have more compassion. So let's go to our phone lines. Brother Green, let me know, do you have someone on your line?
I was just going to say, for those of you that are listening by way of Radio 360, that have dialed in 515-605-9891, or have dialed into 425-292-4253, and you wish to make a comment or ask a question, we ask that you utilize those numbers to press 1 on your phone. We have this valuable conversation concerning meeting the humans that are growing.
Absolutely. Yes. So let's go to our phone line and open the mic for 773-487 Grand Rising. Give us your name, where you're calling from, and your comments.
Good morning.
Yes, we can. Good morning, Kofi. Great to hear your voice. How are you today?
Good morning, Kofi. Well, I am all right. Feeling good.
Yeah. So Kofi, I know that you are one who has an ear to the ground and interact with people. What have you observed and what have you helped to assist in alleviating some of the suffering of those who are often ignored and invisible during the rest of the year? Give us your experience.
Well, that's the ultimate question. Saying who are not heard or who are not seen. I looked at scripture in the word that says, "Love thy neighbor." We went on such as your show and everybody else. We all I laugh at it sometimes because I'm at fault too. We all want to go global. We all want to help the world in other continents and places. Which is good. That was a great thing that has happened. Even myself, I talk to people around the world. I'm connected with the African continent and brothers and sisters. They talk to me all the time on Facebook and social media. I had got to a point, I was like, wait a minute, we trying to be this global healer, and I'm not helping my neighbor. I'm doing myself a great injustice.
Yeah, but they say charity begins at home.
I'm not living local. ignoring my locality, and I'm worried about something that's going on in China. I'm worried about something that's going on in Ghana. I'm trying to help them, and we have got our stuff out of position that we have to kind of reel it back a little bit, because the elites, or whatever you call them, they want a world government. They want to control the world. But if we come back and say, hey, let me love my neighbor. My neighbor knocks my door all the time and asks for things. And he appreciates that. I say, hey man, anytime you need something, man, just tap on my door. And that makes me feel grounded and connected to my community. And not depending on politicians. So I tell politicians all the time, because I was trying to be a politician at one point in time, trying to run for a seat, and I learned a lot. And I tell politicians all the time, your legacy will be a blemish of ignorance at the end of the day. Because when you win the election, you're sworn not to help the people. A lot of people don't know that. When you get elected in office, you have to go through a initiation that says you can't do anything to help your own personal people. If you do something, you have to help the whole and not your own people. And that's what I learned the politics. I was like, that's nasty. That's not good.
Well, that is part of what that was one of the things that people were a little upset about at President Barack Obama when he said he was president of the United States. And a lot of people were believing, okay, this is our black president. And he couldn't be that. The nation elected him to lead the nation. And a lot of people were feeling that he should have been more partial, or should have maybe pushed some of the racial issues like reparations more, which he didn't. But the reality is, if you are head of a government, in whatever body, whether it's a ward in a city, or the entire city, or an entire state, or an entire country, the whole constituency is who you have to serve. Even if you belong to a specific ethnic group, you have to serve the whole constituency. Now, we know that hasn't always happened historically, but that's what's supposed to happen. So, yeah, I can understand where you might see it as they're told not to serve their people, because they're told you can't be partial. You must develop policies that cover everybody's needs. Even if you have a portion of the people who might have a specific need, and that can be addressed through legislation, but still, as a person representing an entire body of people, you have to represent the entire body of people, because there is no, even though cities might be divided up into wards or sections, there is no representation of, well, this is, I'm the Hispanic alderman, or I'm the black alderman, or I'm the Jewish alderman. You might have a constituency that is a majority of a particular thing, but you still have to serve everybody, because that's what it means to be a government official.
I know. Just look at what's going on now. The immigrants are coming into America by the millions, and last week Biden just gave them access to voting. At the end of the day, me being a native, I look at things different. They're not going to give us natives, us black natives, whatever you want to call us, who are here in America, on stolen land. In 1830, in the removal, Andrew Jackson was on a $20 bill. He put the whole South of black folks. Okay, so don't believe me, do your research. That's how it happened. And the Europeans got 2 acres of land. That's why they out there farming and living that life, because our land was taken. Okay? And they are not going to, because all the wars they had against us to take this land, they're not going to undo that injustice. And that's the pressure that I'm putting on them. You know, white folks love me because I speak like that. They go, man, you speaking different. We love that. You know, we know we took your land. I said, you didn't take it. Your forefathers took it. All I want to do is return back to it. Now, if I decide to create a town like Tulsa, Oklahoma again, don't drop no bombs on me again. Okay? If I decide to live out my life and grow a town, you know, let me do that. See, I put that pressure on them of what their forefather has done, and saying, don't repeat that same thing. Let me live out, you know, my ideals. Let me live out. I know you come here to this country to because you're not going to control me as an individual. You can't do that because I know why you're here. I'm going to respect you. I did a video that said, I'm not going to call you an immigrant. I'm going to call you an international citizen to make you respect yourself. You see what I'm saying? And that's why I get a lot of respect from foreign people. Man, stop calling yourself an immigrant. You're an international person. You come here to bring a great a task or something to make your family better. You're not going to look down on me because you can't do it. I'm not going to part in the caste system. You heard the caste system?
Or the caste system?
The more darker you are, caste system, the more darker you are, you're lower at the bottom of the barrel, the more darker you are. That's called the caste system. The social contract of countries. Yes. And they try to bring that. Yeah. They try to bring that to America.
Well, you know, Kufi,
let me say this. I want to hear from Saeed on this because I think I kind of it's his ear. I always tell them, you know, there was a day on this earth that there was only melanated people walking around. There was no other colors of people.
So,
okay?
you know, Kufi, the caste system only the caste system is only possible if the collective body of people respond to each other based on skin color. If you raise a generation of children who are not influenced by that, then that will no longer exist. That was the whole idea behind things like school busing and integration, to actually change the mind, change the thought, change the conditioning of the next generation of young people so that they didn't have that distorted thinking of one group of people being better than the other based on a shade of brown or lighter, darker shades of pink, because all of that is insanity. But it's mind conditioning. It's taught, and if you talk to children, they don't have that concept unless an adult teaches them. So our responsibility is to stop teaching it, because the children are only imitating what they see adults do. And most of us have had experiences with children where they're a multi-racial group of children, And they didn't care anything about that. They just looked for friends to play with. It's only when adults injected that poison in their minds that they begin to think that way. So how do we stop teaching that thought?
My best friend in grade school was a Polish guy. My best friend in high school was an Irish guy. My best friend in college was a Lithuanian guy. So I had that growing up. I didn't care who you were. You know, if you had character, if you loved yourself and you saw something in me and you was attracted to me to do, I was most likely to succeed in college my senior year. Except you went to everybody's party. Regardless of the color. Hey, but you left at 10 o'clock to go to the library. You kept us focused. And I still have that mind frame today.
Well, that's important. So, Kareem, you were going to respond to that?
And we have to, those of us who are like so-called woke, okay, we have a job to do to maintain some order in this, little fake chaos. That's our job. I mean, people look at me on Facebook. I mean, I'm being watched. Everything I say, everything I do, and I just keep it funny.
Well, that's what Facebook does. It gives you an audience. So I think Kareem wanted to respond to what you said, Kufi. Go right ahead. Kareem wanted to respond to what he said.
Yes. Last night I woke up. I slept a short while, and I woke up and I came in my living room, and I went to YouTube and I accessed Noam Chomsky. Noam Chomsky is a celebrated intellectual with very profound thought, and his writing and what he has said, it challenges the order that has been established by the research as the elite. And in his what he was addressing is that it is we are living at a time where there is unfathomable wealth in the control of a handful of people. I'm hearing some background noise.
Let me close my eyes.
And he went back in history and mentioned how the land holding of people only had the right to vote, and that the people themselves were seen as an uneducated father, something to be governed, but not taken seriously. We are living in a time now, bring it on up here to 2021, where there is an exorbitant amount of wealth in a handful of people. And believe it or not, they swear no allegiance to no country.
Absolutely.
There are international corporations. And once it was established that a corporation is considered a person, then they have deep pockets.
Absolutely.
To buy our politicians. We wonder how come the Democrat Manchin is immovable on the Build Back Better, building up the infrastructure of this country. And he has not budged. He has said adamantly he will not support it, but he is from, I think, Virginia. Virginia was a coal-producing region. And he is voting against in the environmental infrastructure. There are people that have died from black lung disease in the area that we live.
Oh, yes.
Water is contaminated by the coal industry. But he wrote again the bill that would bring relief to those people. Why? Because he was financed by the fossil fuel industry.
That's what happened.
So
we have to look at the values.
And let me say this here, and
right.
I'll stop.
Because our guest has arrived.
I won't say anything else for up to this point. Yeah, please. If we have to get past this color division that is dividing the people.
Yes.
That's dividing the people. They're playing the human being like they have no respect for the human being. And we're all suffering under the same conditions. The educational system in this country is reprehensible.
Absolutely.
The medical services that is provided definitely need an overhaul.
Yeah, absolutely.
We are all suffering under these things, but it begins at home.
It begins at home. That is exactly right.
How do we treat our neighbor?
Absolutely.
How do we treat those
absolutely
in which we live? Very important.
That is true.
I'll stop right there.
Well, we're going to take a break, and then our guest, actor Harold Davis, has arrived, and we want to take a look at how the filmmaking industry kind of shapes our thinking, our culture, and even our understanding and compassion, especially for Black men who find themselves often struggling to overcome attitudes that society has. And how can we, as you said, begin to remove our obsession about race and just look at what is right treatment of the human being? We need to do that. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with actor Harold Dennis. And if you're listening online and want to join this conversation, give us a call, 515-605-9325, and press 1 when you're ready to speak, and we'll open your mic and get your thoughts. We'll be right back after this break, so stay with us. The Female Solution Global Radio TV Show invites you to an invigorating conversation with our team of hosts Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Time. Start your week with Monday Morning Mindfulness with Zelda Speaks. Tuesdays, Self-Cell Care with Jody Susan. Wednesdays, Repairing Broken Families with Naima Latif and co-host Kareem Hamid. Thursdays, Soulful Solutions with Dr. Debbie Green. And Fridays, Health and Wellbeing with Beata. Saturdays, tune in 12 noon to 2 p.m. Central Time. First Saturday, Success Strategies with Jana. Second Saturday, Wendy Williams Esquire on relationships. Third Saturday, Move Around with Deborah. And fourth Saturday, Wisdom with Mama D. Join us Sundays, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Time for Soul Purpose Healing with Beata. Call in and comment 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak to the host and be a part of the solution.
And I'm Naima Latif. Meet people like you who are making a positive difference in the world. Watch us every day on The Media Connection at www.youtube.com/The Media Connection TV. There are people who choose to make a positive difference in the world. Our job is to bring you their stories to motivate you to do the same. Join us each week, host John Alexander and Naima Latif, as we bring you the educators, entertainers, elected officials, religious leaders, and community activists whose works are transforming this world. Find out how you can make a difference too. Be inspired. Watch The Media. Mondays at 5 p.m. and Tuesdays at 12 noon on cable TV, Channel 19 in Chicago, and other cities. Check your local cable list. Do you want to live in a world without war? Join our global peace movement. peace restoration of life transcends culture, religion, ideology, and other boundaries to achieve peaceful harmony in the global society. HWPL is committed to bringing world peace and cessation of war through peaceful dialogue between religious groups. I am Director Shin-Suk Kim of the HWPL Chicago branch of North America. Join us for our next gathering. Call 773-580-1501 and be a part of the movement for world peace. Email us at chicagohwpl@gmail.com.
And we are back. You're listening to and watching the Female Solution Global Radio TV show. I'm Naima Latif, and we've been joined by our illustrious guest, Harold Davis.
Dennis.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Dennis. Did I? And I'm sitting here with my glasses on and said it wrong. I'm sorry, Harold Dennis. You know, I have a friend named Harold Davis that's stuck in my head. But yes, Harold Dennis, who has performed in memorable films and given some portrayals that can perhaps give us a bit of empathy for that individual known as the Black man that so many have misunderstood. So we want to say thank you for joining us. Welcome to the Female Solution Global Radio TV show.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm really impressed with a lot of your work. And of course, we have with us our co-host, Kareem Hamid, and an additional radio station that we're connected to, American Muslim 360, another global radio station, and a wonderful audience who's looking forward to appreciating the impact that you're having on our culture. And we have been talking about, for a while now, we've been talking about the impact of the film industry on our thinking. And we've certainly taken a look at how our portrayals have such a global effect. People who have never seen Black people, they only know what they see in the movies and on television.
Yeah, that's true.
So what goes into your decision to choose specific roles? You know, when you look at a script, what goes into your decision to decide to portray a character? And what are some of the roles you've been most proud of that you've portrayed?
Well, first, I'll say that I'm on my 24th year of doing this. And so today I read the script, and, you know, it's 20 some years training too, as well, ongoing. Today I read the script, and it talks to me, and I say, okay, well, this one, I can see myself turning some scenes, getting some empathy, moving the crowd type of thing, because that's actually what I teach. I teach acting on camera with Second City here in Chicago, and I do my online workshops, but I haven't been back up into Second City since the doors shut down. So I started the workshops over the pandemic, and they've been going consistently. I'm actually on number 88. And I was like, I'll just get to 100 and see what happens. I'm up to number 88. I'll do in between Christmas and New Year's. Yeah. And so I work on teaching, getting your audience to feel something. One of my instructors who I've been studying with first week in January, Ted Saranto, says, I don't care if you feel it, make them feel it. And that was back in 2004 when I first started working with him. And so, and then prior to that, I started off at ETA over on 75th and South Chicago with the late Choral Harold Johnson. And he was teaching the Stanislavski method, which is, empathy and feeling and feeling and feeling. If you feel it and your partner feels something and you're radiating in between, then it radiates out to the audience, theater
Wow.
type. Yeah. And so that I ran around for 6 years with that until I came across Ted, who said, I don't care if you feel it, just make them feel it. And so, because I had asked the question, well, how do I make my audience feel? And that was back in 2002. And so this book came to me. It was handed to me. One of my late acting buddies, Story by Robert McKee, and it was for screenwriters. And I was like, I don't want to read this big 600-page book. Give me a video, 500 or something like that. It was a big book, and so I read it over the course of a month, taking my time, looking up some of the words in the dictionary that I didn't understand at the time. And I was like, wow, they don't teach this in acting school. This is what screenwriters should learn to write Hollywood archetypical screenplays, the beginning, middle, end Hollywood movies. And they talk about different things, the actor's universe, turning scenes, and on and on and on. And so I started incorporating some of that into my acting. And then I came across Ted Sarantos back in January 2004, and I've been with him weekly ever since. We're on Zoom now, and he's been teaching for over 50 years, but I basically teach what he's been teaching. How do you get the audience to feel, along with all the other techniques I've learned, which is have an intending dream scene. What is it? Instead of an intending dream scene is something like, well, Naima, while I'm sitting here, what do I want you to do right now? Maybe I want you to smile. No matter what the words are, I'm thinking smile, 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 smile. Even before I start talking, I'm thinking. So that's intending dream scene on whatever it is you want the other person to do. And then so the next question is, how do I play it? And when you read the script, every actor says, oh, I know how to play this. Or you read something, oh, I know what this is talking about, that type of thing. Then you add the opposite on there. And then if you need a secret because the scene is lacking, you throw a secret on, like, well, maybe I'm at a circus, and I'm a circus clown, stuff like that. And other things. So I spent 18 years of studying with him, and it allows me to perform and it to radiate out to the audience so we can get empathy. And so getting back to today, how do I pick my scripts? Choose my scripts. Well, for years I worked to build a name and some credits. So I used to work a lot for free and would jump on just about everything. Well, is there a credit in there for me? Is there a credit? Is there IMDb credit? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll do it. Today, I don't want to waste all of my time because I have other projects. Projects have gotten bigger and bigger over the years. And so I'll still do some projects for free. It's just because I've built a relationship with the person, and maybe they don't have a budget. And I think, oh, this is a really cool project to be a part of, and so I'll do it. But how much are you paying? That's how I choose my projects. How much are you paying me? No, and I'm joking, but more than that, if I haven't done the character before because I've done maybe shorts and features, a couple hundred projects, and they keep coming. I was just at a premiere the other night. One of my buddies, filmmaker, director, he says, Harold, I got 3 more projects and you're in all 3 of them. I'm like, okay, John. Yeah. So it's like that. And other things coming up. Yeah. So it's just depends on the project. But like I said, back in the day, I was jumping on any and everything because the first thing my buddy asked me way back in 1998 when we started this acting troupe, February 98, he says, HD, what is it that you want to do? You want to do commercials? You want to do TV? You want to do what? I says, I want to be in people's movies. And so I set that in the back of my head and forgot about it. And, back 97, 98, 99, there was a little extra work here in Chicago, but it was theater, Perform Inc. and those types of newspapers. You look for movies and stuff. And then Craigslist popped up and you find independent films. So, that's what I said. And then after I said I want to be in people's movies, it started happening slowly. Then, yeah, that's how it's going. That's how I choose.
Well, I think a lot of, when people start.
Yeah, that's how.
When people start I guess, stereotyping characters, one of the things that many of the actors said is that there was not enough scripts that really gave depth to a character. I believe it also, in many of the actors who have gone on to maybe win Oscars or whatever, they said the first struggle was finding a character that you take out of that one-dimensional role of, okay, black male gangster or thief or whatever, the stereotype was, the criminal. And they really wanted to try to portray a depth. And I'm thinking, and help me remember his name, I'm having a senior moment, that played Black Panther.
Yeah, who just passed. I just posted a picture of him, and I'm having a senior moment too, so forget about it.
But
Out of sight, out of mind. Boy, that stuff really works.
And he spoke about when one of his first roles was for Chad. Yes,
Chadwick Boseman.
Kareem. Yes,
Kareem, you're amazing.
Yeah, I know. But he spoke about his first role as on a soap opera, and he was trying to get some depth to the character. He was a criminal. Okay, well, he was asking the writers, okay, what's his background? And they were like, well, I guess, okay, came from a single mother household, the usual. And they were like, okay, so he's got this anger in him. He's doing crime. Why is he angry? What happened? What's his relationship with his father? I mean, he was trying to get, some more depth to the character, not just the stereotype. And they looked at him like, what school did you graduate from? And, he told him, of course, Howard. And next thing you know, he was fired from the job, and they brought in someone else because he was seen as, maybe a troublemaker. You think too deeply.
They brought in someone that would do the shallow character.
Yeah. They wanted somebody to just come in and do the shallow character. Don't be trying to make people think or feel or nothing. Just, be this shallow character that we've written in the script. And so I think about that, the fact that characters who really take their craft seriously, as you do, of course, will think about, what do I want people to feel? Because that's what acting is.
Yeah. And so I'll just jump in. Layers. I want to add layers to the character, some depth. And so, I get these scripts. I have one. Well, I won't say any names. I'm working on this. I just wrote this guy this morning, says, yeah, you're still filming on the 21st. I'll come out there and shoot. Yeah, I'll do it. And so initially, well, it goes back, another thing I auditioned for. It was like the main character's short story. And they didn't cast it yet. He sent the note and said, but here's another one that we want to shoot real quick. For some reason, they couldn't shoot the other. And so I'm looking at this character, and, it's a Caucasian guy. And the character is one note, of course, arguing with someone. And it's not the main character, it's just somebody to feel, because you could have cast a white guy for this role, but they want to put me in this one because something didn't work out in the past. Thought they got under my skin. And so anyway, it's not a main character, but it's not a bad character. He's an arguing character. And so I'm thinking, how can I add layers to just the angry guy, arguing guy? Mm-hmm. And, it's, I could be a little funny if I want to, I could do opposite. I could, if I look at the character and says, okay, this guy's angry. All right, so I know how to play this. I'll play it angry. What do I want the person that I'm talking to do? So, I can flip the script and say, I want this person that I'm talking to laugh. So how would I play it? I would play it funny. And what's the opposite of funny? Angry. So I'll be as funny as I can and angry as I can to get them to laugh. Yeah, that's layered by itself. That one little thing. Wow. And it makes the character unique, and I'd be unduplicatable, and I'd be surprising myself along the way, which makes me exciting, and people want to keep an eye on the character. Yeah. So there's shallow characters all over. It's up to the actor to come in and layer it.
And make people think a little deeper. So let me go to my co-host, Kareem Hamid, who's on the other line. Kareem, did you have any questions for our guest, actor Harold Dennis?
First off, welcome to the Female Solution. Harold Dennis, to Almighty God, for you and to hear the insight of the inner working of this industry. You know, I want to, okay, let me get started here. I applaud Will Smith for his portrayal of Richard Williams in the movie King Richard. He's portrayed a strong, principled African American husband and father. I encourage everyone to go and see that. It's very seldom coming out of the film industry that we see some movies that feature and portray a strong African American father and a husband. Visuals, and I'm grateful that you mentioned you have to make the people feel a certain way. And we know that everything sends a message to our mind. And I'm hearing you pondering that, what is being sent, what is the underlying message in this character. There's a growing independent film industry growing. It's growing, and I suggest that those of us that have a problem with mainstream, that we support the independent film industry, especially those that are independent in their thinking, because our opinions and how we feel shapes our thinking and our behavior. And we wonder, how come we have so much violence? Look at what has been presented to the American people. There's this statement: if it bleeds, it leads. If it bleeds, it leads. So I'm grateful that you are conscious and you consider what message is being sent and how will it make the audience feel. That is, we are grateful for actors like you that consider that thing, and we thank Almighty God for it. Have you written a script, or do you just act from the script that is sent to you? And if not, do you intend to write a script? I'm quite sure it would be very beneficial and insightful due to what you have shared with us thus far.
Yeah, I wrote a short. I was taking classes over at Second City to screenwriting about 1.5 years ago, intro to screenwriting. And then just before the pandemic hit, I was in a screenwriting 1 class. And then when I finished that, I jumped into the screenwriting lab. And then the pandemic broke out. And so then we finished it up on Zoom. And I'm sitting here watching CNN on TV and getting angry, like, this is crazy. Black Lives Matter. This is crazy, crazy, crazy. And this is before they stormed the Capitol. This is back last summer. And so I'm sitting up looking at all of that. And I was like, because I didn't really know what I wanted to write in the screenwriting class. I knew I wanted to write something, but there it was right here in front of me. So I started writing. I wrote 12 pages. And because it was during the pandemic, some of it takes place on Zoom,
Wow.
And it's about the Black man dealing with police brutality, and I played that character. And so anyway, we shot it last October during the pandemic. I called in some favors, filmmakers, teachers, actors. One guy drove in to play from Wisconsin to play, play one of the characters for me. And so anyway, to make a long story short, the film is in post. I'm raising $7,000 so I can get that finished. So it's just sitting there, and I'm thinking about calling it documentary 2020 or something like that, because I
Wow.
wanted to do it for 2020, but time has eroded. So it might be an American documentary 2020, 12, 15 minutes short.
2022 even.
Yeah, dealing with police brutality and the mask, all of that's going on. Protests.
Wow.
Yeah, and we shot it. We got it in. We had about 3-4 cameras. So one time, I'm like, wow.
Well, you
We
know,
out here.
that's one thing that it's with the technology and a lot of, smaller cameras that can do a lot. You can make a film a lot with a lot less money nowadays.
It's
Great
true.
ability.
It's really true. There's the guy that I told you we just had the premiere of For Hannah, which is going to be on Amazon Prime Christmas Day. It's we shot that last January in the 20 below on the border of Iowa and Illinois, at nighttime shooting. Have to shoot and cut, run into the house, come back out, you ready, action, cut, run back in the house. It was that cold out there. And so, but anyway, it's For Hannah, and that'll be on Netflix. That one's Amazon Prime. And that one's winning awards already over in Rome for actors and film and stuff. And so anyway, that guy though, he shot a movie on his iPhone back in 2013, a feature film.
Wow.
Before it was like really talked about. He had a monitor hooked to it. He had lenses hooked to the screen and everything,
Wow.
and boom mics held up from his iPhone. And
Wow.
so that one's coming out too. It's called Drifted. Now the whole movie is dark, so there's no good characters in the whole movie except for the lead actress and maybe this other character, guy North Roberts. He plays a priest, and it's not good for him in the end of the movie either. So and I'm a bastard in that way. So but he shot that on iPhone back in 2013.
Wow.
And I wanted to say that, and I have to talk about a couple of projects. I've got one that's on Amazon Prime now that we shot in CineSpace that I'm the actor in, but one of my fraternity brothers, one of my noops, L. Arthur Bay, shot it. We did that about 3-4 years ago, and it's called. He wrote a series called Pear Shaped, and it's he's conscious. He's a conscious brother. So
wow.
yeah, he just moved out to LA. But so he shot the couple other films a couple years before. It's 3 episodes, and I'm in the 3rd episode, Pear Shaped, on Amazon Prime Video. And it's a short, it's a 12-minute, 14-minute short, and it's called WBLS, which is short for Whirling Blue Lights and Sirens. And I play that black guy driving in the car. It's just cameras just on my face for 15 minutes. Cameras just right here. And it's just me driving, dealing with possible blue lights, and got my army jacket on. So you get PTSD,
Wow.
It's I'll tell this quick part. So when I was teaching at Second City, I get students from all over the country. And some of them just, they look at me like, he's teaching, Yeah. So what I would do is pop the first thing in introductions. I let them talk because I want to know who's in the room. And then I'd pop that little 14-minute video in movie. And then they shut up and they listen to me for the next 8 weeks.
Wow. I bet they do.
Pear Shaped, WBLS. Yeah.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
Well, now with that kind of a scene where basically what the audience has is just your face and your facial expressions, what kinds of things do you have to do with your face in order to tell a story? Because that's all people are seeing.
There's dialogue too, like phone call and me talking to myself. And so, but the best thing to do when the camera's this close is to do nothing.
Ooh, just
let the audience do the work. I'll just do this. Yeah.
Use their imagination.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
It's amazing.
We have a caller on the line.
Okay. Well, it's time to take a break. Tell them, hold on. We'll be right back. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. You're listening to and watching the Female Solution Global Radio TV show. I'm Naima Latif, and our guest today is actor Harold Dennis, who brings some deep characters to life. We'll be right back after this quick break, and we want you to stick and stay. Don't stray away. We'll be back in a moment. And if you're on our switchboard now, just press 1 if you have a comment or question you'd like to make. And if you're on our Facebook Live page, The Female Solution, just write in your comments and we'll share them with our listening and viewing audience. And we will be right back after this break. So stay with us.
I'm Beata, your holistic life coach. These days, it's more important than ever to work on your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health. Are you consciously breathing deeply in stressful moments? Do you have a plan or daily routine to maintain balance in your awesome body? Are you struggling to be disciplined in your eating habits? When you partner with me, I'll help you develop a personalized health plan that works for your particular lifestyle. You can find out more about me at yourholisticlifecoach.com, where you can also review my 3-step protocols to guide you to abundant health. That's yourholisticlifecoach.com, and I'm Beata.
Oh man, God sent the monthly sun bill today. This sunlight is really expensive, especially during this season. I'll probably have to work overtime to pay it.
Well, you better pay it on time. We don't want the sun to go out and we're sitting up here all day in the dark.
Wouldn't it be terrible if God charged us for sunlight? Well, thank God, the light and heat from the sun is free. So why are we paying such high bills for the energy we use in our homes? Because we don't know how to use solar energy, the free energy from the sun. You can convert your regular home to a solar energy home and save tremendously on your electric bill. Take a look at your electric bill. Wouldn't you like to reduce or possibly even eliminate that cost altogether? Let one of our solar consultants show you how. Call today, 312-849-3456. And schedule a free consultation. That's 312-849-3456.
Do you worry about finances, family, health, job, relationships? Are you in pain? Do you feel stuck? If you answered yes to any of these questions, help is available. Don't worry, you're not alone. It's part of the human process. You only feel this way because you haven't mastered the voices in your head. No hype, just down-to-earth, solid, workable tools and techniques that you can practice daily. It's really food for the soul. Whether you want to learn how not to worry about anything, reverse type 2 diabetes, publish a book, promote your product or service, or just make extra money. Take advantage of the deal of the day. Go to zeldaspeaks.com or call 312-409-6619. Mention promo code The Female Solution and get free shipping. That's zeldaspeaks.com or 312-409-6619. Stop worrying today. Visit zeldaspeaks.com.
And we are back. You're listening to and watching the Female Solution Global Radio TV show. I'm Naima Latif, along with our co-host Kareem Hamid. And our guest today is actor Harold Dennis, who brings some deep characters to life and even got a script that we can't wait to see that gives us a vision of this interesting time of the pandemic that we have experienced and the conflict with police brutality, which is rocking this nation. Definitely want to see that script. And you say you haven't named it yet. You're still
I named it documentary, but as time goes by, all of a sudden these other ideas come. Just this morning, I was thinking to myself, why don't I just turn that 12-minute piece into a feature and just keep diving off into more story of events that just happened, and so that was just that came to me this morning while I was laying around, and so yeah, but also I have a great story here. There's a film that I was cast in November 2004. So that's a little over last month, 17 years ago.
Wow.
So, and it's called Pieces of a Dream.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was some controversy, and the film didn't get distributed, and they gave me $3,000 back then, and gave me the title role of this feature film, and it's 4 short stories that intertwine. So I got the first story, then there's the second story with the mother who's dealing with her issues, the woman, and her son who's dealing with the gang issues, and the artist who's dealing with love issues, isolation. And I played a priest accused of child molestation.
Oh,
And
wow.
it's a conscious film movement, and Pieces of a Dream, written by 2 brothers, Paul Branton, Skeet Skinner, and Skeet directed it. Paul is an artist here in Chicago, and Skeet's out of Indianapolis. And so we shot it down in Alton, Illinois back then, and it came. It screened at the ABFF back in 06, I believe, and 07 it screened in Chicago at 87th Dan Ryan, ran for a week, but it didn't get distributed because of some things. And so anyway, it's now being distributed through Tubi TV, through Dame Dash Studios. It's his studio, and he says, yeah, let's run with it. And so I'm looking for a lot of things to happen, and Ski is supposed to happen in January, to release, and Ski is saying we want to break Tubi TV because it's free, Tubi, and get over a million viewers in the first week.
So when that happens, then now who pays when you get like
sponsors pay on Tubi? Sponsors like commercials. Yeah, they pay. Yeah. And so that'll happen in January, and the announcement will be out real soon, and I'm excited. And so real quick, one time I was walking through the airport, Christmas Day, going to Atlanta to some family's house. I had my little cool leather jacket on with my little white stripes on the sleeve arm, and it was probably 2006 Christmas or something like that. That's what I'm feeling. And so I'm going through the Midway Airport, and then as I'm walking, and this was 06. So Barack Obama comes the other way, walking past. He stops his entourage. He stops, and he looks at me, and I look at him. I was like, okay, I know who he is, but have we met? And so he's still looking. And so I look over my shoulders to see if there was somebody else. Nobody else in that little lobby area. And so then he looked for a couple more seconds, then he walked off. And so all these years, I was like, I'm special. Why did he stop and look at me? And so I'm talking to Ski on the phone 3 weeks ago, and he told me they screened Pieces of a Dream at the White House back in 06.
Oh, he recognized
and
you.
I was like,
yeah.
dude, how come you didn't tell me this years ago?
That's what that was. He's like, is that the guy that was in? Because he's looking, thinking, is that looks just like him? I wonder if that's him. But he maybe wasn't sure, but he definitely recognized you, because that's a deep role.
Yeah, it's a deep role.
So how do you prepare for something like that? Because that takes some
great story.
Yeah, I mean,
so there was no hands-on.
I know we got a couple of callers on the line, so I guess we'll
there was no hands-on. It was all implied and backstory and stuff. And so, but I said a priest. I thought I was going to play the bad guy. I just auditioned for Pieces of a Dream, which I have to say Monty J did an extremely good job. But it's a Black conscious film movement film, Pieces of a Dream, and every film that Skeet and Paul make are conscious movement films. He's got about 6 more, so they're looking forward to creating more. But what I did was I bought a priest outfit. I found the jacket at a thrift store. It was time to get on that Greyhound bus and go down to St. Louis. And I went to 3 stores, and I was like, okay, well, if I don't get it, I'm just not gonna have it. That last store was there, so I put it on, put my collar on, and I jumped on the bus, and people were like, "Hi, Father." I didn't say anything. I didn't agree. I said, no, I didn't, just to get a feel, Then when I got off the bus,
the whole trip.
when I got off even at the stops,
Oh, that's
I didn't do that though.
wow. Well, Kareem, you've got a couple of callers on your line, and we've got a couple of callers. So Kareem, why don't you go to your caller on the AM 360 line? Go right ahead.
Yes. Error code 724-866. Welcome to the Female Solution. Please state your name and where you're calling from, please.
Yes, assalamu alaikum. This is Sister Gail Muhammad from Sharon, Pennsylvania. I was wondering, and I apologize, I've just been on for the last 10 minutes or so I'm not sure of the brother's name. And
Harold
I would
Davis.
also
I'm sorry, Dennis. I'm sorry. I will not do that again. Harold Dennis.
His name is Harold.
Harold Dennis.
Harold?
Yes, Harold Dennis.
Dennis, okay. Because I wanted to look for him. I wanted to also ask him, would he ever consider playing a role as an LGBT person?
Oh.
Because there's so much of that being promoted in all the movies, the soap operas, the TV people on the TV series, and I was just wondering if he was approached, would he also consider, or would he consider it? That's what I'm asking.
Great question. So I'll say back in 2003, I did a short where I played LGBTQ. I did a short film. You know, it was no kissing or anything like that, but you know, I did it, so I got that out of my system. So you know, and then about 5 years ago, the guy that that's the lead actor in this film that I told you for Hannah that's coming out. He says, Harold, I got a role for you. You can play this flamboyant gay character. And I says, okay. And, you know, they're going to pay me and all of that. Then I'm thinking about it. That's a lot of work, you know, to play flamboyant. Michael Wright did the heck out of it in that HBO special years ago with Al Pacino. You know, I was like, oh, my God. So I started trying to compare myself to him. I was like, I can't do it. I don't feel.
How do you prepare for a role like that?
I don't feel the drive. See, I have to feel the drive for something. And so, like I said, I got it on my system back then. So I just says, and I called him back and says, you know what? I really don't want to do the character. And then, this other sister had a role for me, and I'm all excited about it. Okay, cool. When we're gonna do it, you know? And then she posted it and everything, and I'm like, but you ain't told me who the character is. Well, he's a gay character. And but this is in writing, so I had to call her up and says, you know, you're supposed to tell me before you cast me in anything out of the ordinary, you know. Well, ordinary for me, because you know, I always at this point there's so many actors out here. I says, if there's a gay character, hire a gay actor, give him that money, give him that shine, you know. Yeah, that's my thinking on it now.
Yeah, and Gail, we thank you for that question, because you know that. Well, I'll let the callers continue, and then I have a question to follow up with that. But go ahead, Kareem. You have another call on your line?
I have one more question.
You got another
one?
Okay.
If I can ask another question.
Absolutely.
He just. Do you see in the perceptions of the directors or the film writers that they'll take, and I'm going to say, because I'm from Pennsylvania and Western Pennsylvania, there was a very large group of priests that were charged with, being boys in their congregation. And do you see then having, and most of them were Caucasian, when you present a movie and then you want another character, you want the person now to be other than Caucasian, do you think that is also trying to take some of the light off those that committed the crimes and were never charged with those crimes?
That's a deep thought.
So you're saying cast people of color in the characters?
Outlook to the public.
Mm.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm still. You saying cast people of color in the movie playing the characters of pedophile priests?
Yes, most of the priests in our area, we had. There was a big. They started charging the priests in Pennsylvania. Before they were just passed around from diocese to diocese and everything like that, and they were never dealt with. So now, in the last 10 years or so, the boys and some of the women that were, hurt by them are coming out and telling their story. So they're starting now to try to prosecute them.
At
So,
80, 90, 100 years old, yeah.
Of the Catholic
Right.
Church.
Mm.
Yeah. And
When
so
you have a director or a writer, if he casts a different person, such as an African American as yourself, in that role, do you think that some of that may be to take some of
the sting away? I understand.
Off that they were Caucasian priests, that most of them.
Take the attention off of them. I understand. Maybe not. Scripts comes from the minds of the creators, and people have intentions when they write scripts. So whatever, if you've come across that script, sure, but other people write it just to tell a story, to tell their story. So it's all about who's writing and who's watching. So yeah, it could be.
Yes. Well, thank you, Gail, for those questions. I got a quick question, because like you said, you have a gay character, maybe, try to find a gay actor. But if someone is heterosexual and they choose that role, is there some concern that the perception might be that they're gay and they may not?
Of course. People are people, no matter the color of their skin or the size and shapes they are. It's just the way it is. But it's what it is.
Right. If you're gonna act, you're gonna act. Because I think Will Smith spoke about when he and I forgot the name of the film, but he played a gay character. And he was saying,
6 degrees of separation.
Yeah, 6 degrees of separation. And he was saying at the time he wasn't really comfortable with it. And so he didn't feel like he really gave his all to it, because there is that thought, if you're a heterosexual male, if you play it very well, people figure it must be authentic, and that could affect how a person feels.
Michael Wright is just Jeffrey Wright. I'm sorry. Jeffrey Wright is such an incredible actor. He played in Shaft. He played Peoples. I thought he was really Puerto Rican. So when he played that flamboyant character in that HBO, I believe it was HBO with Al Pacino was in it, flamboyant, it was very believable. Everything he touches, Westworld. So he's incredible. So I guess once you get a reputation of being top notch, people don't judge if you this or that. They just say, "Wow, what an excellent performer!"
Right. That's the goal. Just to be excellent at your craft.
Yes.
Yes. Well, let me go to a call on our switchboard. We've got area code 773-977. Give us your name, where you're calling from, and your question or comment for our guest, Harold Dennis. I got your mic open. 773-977. Check your mute. 773-977. Okay, they maybe stepped away from the phone. We'll come back to them. Kareem, do you have another caller on your switchboard?
Not at this time.
Okay.
But I have a few comments on what Harold has shared with us concerning independent filmmaking. In mainstream, the problem of distribution is challenged. A positive film may be made and produced, but if that is not distributed, if it's not received well by the powers that be in distribution, because they're limited. Utilizing the social media platforms like Tubi, that do carry independent filmmakers. How do you think that will play in the future concerning independent filmmaking?
Well, I think online is not going anywhere. Online distribution came out of nowhere. I remember with my acting troupe back in 1998, we did it for a whole year every Saturday morning, February to February, 98 to 99. And we used to meditate, 25 actors in the basement, honing our abilities, learning the craft, and blah, 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 blah. I remember sitting back one day and I was like, one day I want to be on a movie on the internet. And a couple years later, people were on the internet. I was like, wait a minute, where did that come from? So I don't think it's going anywhere. That's my perception because that was my experience before it happened, saying that aloud and writing it down, And so it's not going anywhere. Look at what's going on out there in the world now. We just had a lockdown a year ago, right? I mean, over the last year. So internet movies aren't going anywhere. As a matter of fact, it's probably picked up steam. There are more streaming sites than ever before, and yeah, it's here to stay. So people can take anything that they make and put it somewhere. All they have to do is get people to follow.
That's a good thought. And I think because of the pandemic, we've seen a lot more reliance on internet films and so forth.
Absolutely.
And because of the ways even the video production, film production have been made accessible, we're seeing a lot more filmmakers emerge as well. We've got another caller here. Let me see if I can squeeze in area code 312-671. Grand Rising. Introduce yourself to our listening audience and give us your question for our guest.
Yes. We are in Shalom. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. How you doing? Beloved?
Excellent. Sounds like our friend, brother Minister Robert Floyd Plump, the music producer.
That even is a better intro. So thank you very much for taking my call. I would like to do a collaboration through education and Black history news and film in promoting the Harold Washington Foundation and the new movie that we got. And I want to know if he had heard about it. Mr. Bennett, Harold, you got the greatest name in the world.
Mr. Plum, were you over around 46th and Greenwood?
No, sir. We're at 4655 South Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Drive.
I believe we've met. I believe we've met a few times.
Wall Street, Chicago.
Sure. Yeah, I used to. I'm sure. I used to. I'm sure we've met a few times. I have done Black History Month over at the DeSable Museum in January for Martin Luther King Day, playing characters for the kids. I did that for a few years. Jackie Robinson. Wow. So I'm and the track and field brother Carlos.
For collaboration through the education of Black history, music is where I specialize in. We have Plump music production.
Well, Minister Plump, I'm going to give him a chance before we go. I'm going to give him a chance to give his contact information, Minister Plump, so you'll be able to contact him after the show and work out those details. So we'll be sure and do that because we want our artists and producers and everything to get together and collaborate. See if I can squeeze in one more call before we go. We've got area code 773-977. Are you with us?
We have a caller on AM 364.
Okay.
If time will allow us.
Okay. Well, you want to take your caller? I think ours still might be on hold. So go right ahead with your caller.
Area code 724-866. Welcome to the Female Solution. Please state your name and where you're calling from, please.
This is Sister Gail again. I wonder if Brother Hal, if he, what did he think about the film with Colin Kaepernick? And the part, there's been a lot of controversy about it. The part where she compares the NFL draft or whatever they do in the compound to slaves on the auction block.
Colin is one of my fraternity brothers.
Wow.
Unfortunately, I haven't seen the film, but I do understand how they can compare that because I've seen some documentaries about the combine and all of the jumping as high as you can. Okay, who can run? You who can run faster? Who's and sizing people up, looking at their bodies and shit. Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah.
I can, but unfortunately, I haven't seen the film.
So Gail, what's the name of the film? What's the name of it?
It's called Black and White. It's on Netflix. I haven't seen it all either, but it was on Good Morning America and Gail, The View, and Sonny Hostas was they were talking about it. But it's on Netflix.
I will definitely look forward to seeing that.
Or something like that.
Yeah, thank you.
And it's with the young lady, I can't think of her name right now, that also did the film on the young man in New York that got accused of raping a woman. Can You See Us or something like that it's called.
Yeah.
They were criticizing, they said Colin Kaepernick because they thought on the talk shows that was a very unfair depiction of the NFL. And the one lady that was on there, she's on one of the, I think she's an announcer for one of the announcers for the NFL, and she was defending the position that that was an unfair comparison. But then Sonny Hostas, because she said her son was in one of the compounds and how they have to spread their arms for like their wingspan and all the different things, and she said she felt uncomfortable for her son.
Sounds like the slave.
So she can understand the comparison. Yes,
absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Gail. We'll look up that. Before we go, I want to give our audience a chance to connect with you and keep track with you. Is there a website that we can send them to? Maybe see some.
Yeah. Right now, you can find me on social media. All the sites: LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. 99 Films on the Wall.
So 99 films on the wall.
Yeah. Number 99. 99 films on the wall. And I monitor all those. I didn't get a chance to say anything about this other Black conscious sci-fi horror genre film that I'm in called Paradigm Gray. 5 Black filmmakers got together. Each one of them made a horror sci-fi short. And there's a website, ParadigmGray, GREY.com, with all the information. That'll be distributed in early spring, next couple months as well.
Well, thank you so much. We're out of time now, but we definitely want to say thank you to all who listened in and joined us. And we appreciate you. And of course, shows are all in the archive. You get a chance to hear us live. If you didn't get a chance to hear us live, then we definitely do want to encourage you to listen in. If you did get a chance to hear us live and play the show, and certainly if you watch us on Facebook, share this with your friends. And let's see, we've got Viato said she read $40 Million Slave by New York Times writer about the NFL, and her father, of course, played for the NFL. Beata Robinson, who is our Friday host, and the author is actor Bill Roden. So yeah, some very deep films about the NFL. Definitely some comparisons can be made. We thank you so much, Harold Dennis, for being with us, and we certainly appreciate the work that you have done and encourage you to continue in your craft. And we will certainly be looking forward to, and one more time, give us, if as you develop the title for your documentary, where can we possibly look for seeing it?
Well, right now I have no idea, but when it comes, I'll blast it like a hurricane.
Well, all right. Well, we'll be looking forward to it. And thank you to all of you who have joined us today. Join us tomorrow for Soulful Solutions with Dr. Debbie Green. And until next time, continue to shine your light. The Female Solution Global Radio TV Show invites you to an invigorating conversation with our team of hosts Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Time. Start your week with Monday Morning Mindfulness with Zelda Speaks. Tuesdays, Self-Cell Care with Jody Susan. Wednesdays, Repairing Broken Families with Naima Latif and co-host Kareem Hamid. Thursdays, Soulful Solutions with Dr. Debbie Green. And Fridays, Health and Wellbeing with Beata. Saturdays, tune in 12 noon to 2 p.m. Central Time. First Saturday, Success Strategies with Jana. Second Saturday, Wendy Williams Esquire on relationships. Third Saturday, Move Around with Deborah. And fourth Saturday, Wisdom with Mama D. Join us Sundays, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Time for Soul Purpose Healing with Beata. Call in and comment 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak to the host and